Good morning everyone. Just thought I'd share with you, you can see my beautiful apricot tree in the background that's already had its harvest this morning, this year, and then beyond that is a pomegranate which is full of fruit. So I'm standing in front of our almond tree. We had a massive storm last night, so I'm going to flick the camera around. Clover, get down. So the dogs are helping me pick all the nuts, but you can see all the beautiful almonds that are on the tree. I did have this netted. There's remnants of a net there, and I'll show you. There's the net. Absolutely got shredded to pieces. So this morning there was lots of nuts on the ground. This bed's very messy because we're in the process of rebuilding them. But I just thought I'd show you before I remove all the almonds, because they're all just shaking off the tree. It's a beautiful, healthy tree. This was planted in 2021, so it's 3 years old. It's produced so much nuts, and here's what was shaken onto the ground this morning. This is after the storm. So as you can see, they just sort of fall and just sitting there on the ground. The dogs have been helping themselves to nuts this morning. But I just thought I'd share, this is what almond trees look like. And if I take this, this has an outer husk, you can see it's starting to split. So I did remove some of the nuts at this stage about 2.5-3 weeks ago. And you remove the outer husk and you just left with the centerpiece. But from all the research I found, they all reckon to try and leave them on the tree until they open up and dry out the inner nut. So today I'll have to deshell all this outer to reveal the inner shell, and then you let that dry out, and then it's good to go. At the moment, if I shake it, you can just feel a nut shaking inside, but so that's what it should look like. And then it obviously needs to dry out because these are quite wet from the big storm last night. So anyway, so that's my almond tree. I'm actually going to take them all off, because even the ones that I picked early, this is not early, this is definitely ready to go. But even the ones that I picked early still dried really nicely. But if I shake the tree, and I'll go around here because I haven't shaked this limb yet, and I'll just put the camera on the ground and I'll shake the tree. I don't know if you can see, but there's nuts falling to the ground. Sorry, the camera works a bit all over the place. But so these ones that are just hanging on, I'm actually going to pick them because I know the birds are going to come and get them. The fact that the dogs are happy to eat them lock, stock and barrel like this, you can actually eat them like this. They're all soft and sweet inside, and the almond inside, because it hasn't dried, is like a gel-like consistency, and it's quite sweet apparently. I haven't tried it, but I know the dogs are definitely happy to eat them. So anyway, so that's the almond tree. So just so you can see what I do when I shake them, I just grab hold of a branch and then literally shake it. I've already shaken that branch, so I know there's nothing on it. Here's one I haven't. Let's see if we can get many off. So we've got a couple dropping to the ground, but not a lot. There was not a lot on there. So anyway, the plan is to take all those almonds off and let that tree be without a net. I'll take you over here. So this is my Granny Smith, which you can see the net's completely been shredded. These are the Granny Smiths. They look beautiful. I tested them last week. They were still a bit flowery, so I was going to leave them on for a bit longer. I have another net, so I will definitely re-net those. And my other apple tree is this one here, which I've double netted. This is a gala, and these were all green. I don't know if you can see that, but these were all green 2 weeks ago or a week ago. These are Pink Lady and Gala apples. It's very hard to see because it's got a double net on it, but there's loads of fruit in that. Olive trees are looking good, and everything else is good. But yes, the storm played a bit of havoc with our fruit trees. So I've had a crop off these 2 plum trees, and I got about 2 kilos. This one really didn't plum much. This one had about the 2 kilos or 1.7. I probably got less than half a kilo off this one. But anyway, so that's the update. Okay, so all that crop is off. So what I'm doing now is I've got the almonds, and I don't have enough strength in my hand, so I'm just forcing that open, which really doesn't take a lot of force. And here's the almond inside. That's the husk, which you can compost that. And then this is what now needs to dry. So if I shake that, you can't really hear anything. But like I said in my previous video, I took some off the tree and dried them out in the sun, and then within days you shook that and you could hear the nut rattling inside, and they tasted really nice. So that's what it'll look like. So I've just started, and I've got all of this and all of, I don't know if you can see, but all of that to do. So that's my task for today. And then I'm going to weigh them with the husk, like with this at this stage, and see how many kilos of nuts. I'm not really sure when you look at production and how many kilos you get per tree, whether you do it weigh it in this form, or when it's the actual nut. So I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'll weigh them at this stage, because you can buy them like this in the store, as you know, and you just shell them. And then I'll probably do a combination of having them raw. I will dry roast some and slightly salt them as well. So we'll see how it goes. So this will be my first real crop that I've received. We did have some renters in here, and apparently the tree did crop last year, but apparently not very much. But there was a lot of fruit or a lot of nuts on this almond tree. So that's it from me. Okay, so I've just worked out, just as I'm shelling these, I've got gloves on only because just in case there's bugs or something, I'm a bit of a wuss. So if you just squeeze them like that, that comes right out. So I'm assuming that means they're very ready when you just do that. So at this stage, don't need the knife at all. I thought I'd need to. So that one's a bit firmer. But that sort of works all right. And see, some of them come off the tree already like that. Don't know if that's coming up on the video, but you can see that nut inside. It's already opened up and ready to go. So just a squeeze at the top and each end, and out comes the nut. Now apparently from the research that I've done, if you don't do this the day you pick them, you run the risk of these going mouldy. So I don't want to lose my first crop, because I'm so excited to get them. Anyway, I will keep you updated and show you at the end how many I get. Okay, so as I'm going along, there's different variants of these nuts in terms of how they come off the tree, whether they were on the ground or whether they were the last 10% that I picked off. This one was on the ground. You can see the colour difference. It's quite dark, and when I opened it up, let's take this glove off. When I opened it up, it feels quite moist. Here's the shell inside compared to, the other. So this would have dropped maybe a little while ago, but when I opened it up, it was already sort of split open, and when I opened it right up, you can see the nut has dried, but it doesn't to me look very healthy. So I'm actually going to throw that one. I won't keep that one. I won't put that one in the mix. So when they're dark shelled like that, I'm assuming they're probably no good. I don't know. Okay, so as I'm shelling these, they're all coming out looking like that. Okay, it's a very windy day here, you can see. So actually very pleasant. We've had lots of hot days, but I've just got a couple that haven't opened. You can see that they're quite sealed, and this is the stage that I picked them a couple of weeks ago. So these ones theoretically probably wouldn't be ready. They would have stayed on the tree. Maybe this was one of the 10% that I hand picked, because I just wanted them all off, because I knew if I didn't take all the nuts off today, I'd have all the birds stealing them, and I didn't want, waited so long for these. So I just opened one, and this, I can show you how different it looks. So this is one, you can see how this is quite dry, and you can feel a little nut in there. This one is quite moist. I don't know if that's, yeah, there you go, if that's focusing. So this came out of one like this. So if I open this one and show you, this is where you'd need the knife because you don't have the, so see that? It's starting to dry, but it wasn't completely. So that will dry fine, and the nut will still taste really nice. So I'm not too concerned. It probably could have stayed on the tree another few days if we had nice hot weather, which we are going to have, so it wouldn't take long. But anyway, I've picked them anyway, so it doesn't matter. So here you can see the nuts that I've started shelling. And here's a few in my bowl that I have been eating, and then there's two there that weren't so healthy looking, so I didn't put them in the mix. And these little guys, when I shook the nut, I couldn't hear anything, so I thought they were empty, but they were actually double kernels inside. And obviously this is the not so good one. So these weren't fantastic inside, and I did not include these in the mix. There was probably about 5 or 6 of those for the whole tree. So I'm just really just showing you. Some of them were double, but they were a bit shriveled up. So here I'm comparing one that I can hear shaking and one that I can't. A lot of the ones that turned out where I couldn't hear anything turned out to be a double nut inside.